Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Air Tycoon Online. This is Air Tycoon Online 3. This is episode 7 now, or maybe even 8, I cannot remember. Um, but just like all the other episodes, today we are going to be making some routes. Today I'm going to be focusing on cargo, so that is a little difference because I have no new route options for. Not enough new route options for passengers, basically. If we take a look at my hub, my still and one and only hub, I have connected it to almost every city I can think of. Um, so there's not much more to do there. On the bright side, I am very profitable now, 137K, and that is including 116,000 advertising investment expense. And the reason why I have such high advertising investment expense is I want to open more new hubs in the future, many of them. In fact, if we look at my investment, I'm maxed out in Beijing because that's going to be my second hub. I kind of regret it because another main player, one of the main players in this game, is hubbing off of Beijing. Um, but I already, by the time I noticed that, I had already invested to almost halfway to 50 in name value, as you can see in this column here. The name value, whoops. Um, so yeah, the next city I was planning to hub off of is Chicago, so I have considerable investment expense there. And immediately after that, I want to do London, and then Guangzhou, Seoul, Shanghai. Um, I'm probably going to prioritize Los Angeles too. So as you can see, basically, I'm just trying to get many of the larger cities in the world to be my main hubs, so I can, of course, start making routes from there. Of course, I'm missing a few key cities. I don't have Tokyo, though I have a plan for Tokyo. What I'm going to do for Tokyo is every single route from Chicago, I will make to a city in Europe, and then I will strictly land them in Tokyo. So I won't need a hub in Tokyo, but I'll essentially be using it like a hub. I probably will eventually try and open a hub there later in the game, if that's still a concern of mine. But right now it isn't. So what we're going to be doing is, of course, we're just going to be maxing out my use of New York. I'm going to be doing cargo, of course, today. Uh, hmm? I'm not trying to make a stopover route. Hello? I'm trying to make... Huh? I'm trying to make a cargo route. Hello? Let's try that again. New York to Birmingham cargo. There we go. Wait, no available planes? Oh, shoot, they're still delivering. Right. Then again, I'll just go to all these cities, which I'm planning on doing. All of these ones in the England. And Glasgow. Glasgow is in Scotland, I think. I'm not sure. I'm still very confused. Like, as a non-European, let me tell you, understanding the United Kingdom and all the things around it, whether like freaking Wales and Ireland is a part of it, and all that kind of shit, is rather confusing actually. And maybe I'm just ignorant, but I'm not sure if many people know the distinction between the United Kingdom, Britain, and like which countries belong to which thing. I guess I don't even know how to call it. I certainly don't. So, yeah, as you can see, we have a lot of money. Overnight, I woke up and I had like a million K. So I'm starting to grow relatively quickly, even though I'm investing so much into advertising, which I think is a good thing. Because once I can kind of reduce those advertisement costs, my profit is gonna skyrocket. Basically, of course, right now, for example, there's not really a point to for me to max out my advertising and stuff like that, or to max out my profit, because if I don't have a new hub, eventually I'll literally run out of routes, which I can make to New York, and then I won't be able to make any new routes. So instead, I'm gonna spend most of my money right now on advertising, of course. So eventually, when I need to, um, I can just switch all that advertising expense um, into net profit, which will allow me to grow my company much quicker. I think it's a good plan. Um, you know what? As much as I dislike how long it takes to play ATO3, like in terms of opening a second hub, I do think the game is improved in the sense it is pretty interesting to play now. Um, No longer is it like um, there's just a set pattern to playing the game, and you just make routes all over the place, and it doesn't make any sense. But just on the downside, it just takes a bit too long. I wish you could go above your maximum allowed investment expense right now. Why does it keep asking me to make a stopover route? I'm not trying to make a stopover route. Um, how do I deselect? Uh, what is going on? I don't want a stopover route. I want a cargo route. Okay, maybe I just misclicked. I did not notice there. Yeah. So basically, what was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying. Whatever I'm saying, I'm just gonna make my cargo routes from New York. These should all be very profitable. I didn't realize that I was able to do a trans-Pacific or a transatlantic flight, which is pretty interesting, because that opens up quite a few possible cargo routes, which I think will be quite profitable. Like I imagine all of these aircraft will be full, even with the pretty aggressive pricing. 1.2, I believe, should be considerably high for a cargo route. Like as you can see, even Amsterdam's available, so I'll do that. I really think that because this game runs off of a hub and spoke system, it's really reducing other people's abilities to compete. Like I'm sure in other cities around the world, people can find great routes that are available, but just can't make them um, because they're locked in um, by their by their hub basically. So they're stuck making routes um, that aren't the ideal, even though they have found better routes around the world. And that's, I guess, both a blessing and a curse because less competition for everybody, but also less good routes for yourself, basically. And why is my Manchester slot request stuck at 1? Um, that's annoying, I guess. Did I click stopover again? Did I really? Wow. I guess I'm just so used to making stopovers. I'm not trying to click any other button out here. Uh, okay, so that is all my. Wait, I think there was a few more which I wanted to make. Um, did my Casablanca slot request go through? Sweet, it did. Yeah, I'm amazed at how many. Wait, did I run out of cargo plane? Huh? I'm pretty sure I have a cargo plane left, right? Oh no, I've used all of them. Okay, so that's all my cargo planes. Then the next thing I wanted to do is, of course, use those 747s. So let's find some routes for those bad boys. New York to Pescara. Um, that's definitely a good route. Uh, New York to Glasgow, New York to Oslo, New York to Brussels, and then the quality of the route starts to fall off. New York to Rio, and how does that New York to Rio route work? Valencia to New York, and New York to Rio. You know what? Just because that New York to Rio route is so good, let's put a 747 on that. And New York to Rio is excellent. I can't believe that's still a monopoly. I love how long monopolies last in this game. Like people can't compete because they don't have hubs in the correct cities to do so, and I guess it actually allows you to make your cities feel more exclusive than people snapping up good routes whenever they want to. So there are definitely upsides to the new hub and spoke system. I just think it's a bit too slow. Like, look at what I've done to New York before I can move on to the next city. You know what I mean? Like, all right. So I guess we're gonna do New York to Glasgow because that's a decent route, and putting a 747 on it will definitely still fill the 747. Um, so let us do that. All right. So now what do we have to do? Now we need to find new homes for those aircraft which got replaced by the 747s. So let me see if I have any cities in and around Europe which still need to be connected. Eindhoven, sweet. Eindhoven is a terrible city, but nevertheless, ooh, sweet. There are more slots available in Seoul's main airport, so I'm gonna request more slots there. I like to keep. Ooh, that's overflowed. I like to keep almost all my routes going to the same airport whenever possible. It's not always possible, of course, because like the airports fill and stuff like that. But if you do manage to keep all your routes flying to the same airports, um, instead of different ones, what you can do is you can build a maintenance depot there and receive pretty massive benefits for almost no expense. You know what I mean? You don't pay any down payment for it, um, or anything like that. You literally just like spend 6 credits and receive strictly gain. Like there's absolutely no loss for building a maintenance depot besides your credits. For example, if we look at my company here, give it a second to load. My maintenance savings is 7.7K. That's one maintenance depot. That's literally one maintenance depot. It saves me 7.7K. And if we look at my net expenses, all of my maintenance expense is 23K. That's like 30% almost off my maintenance expense just from a single depot. Now, it would be even higher if all my routes came from the main New York airport, but unfortunately, I couldn't make that happen because, of course, it became full, so I had to use the second airport sometimes, so I have some slots available there. And sometimes I use that airport when I'm requesting slots for the other New York airport. So, of course, it's not perfect, but I think it would be even higher than 30% of my total maintenance expense off. Somebody left this world because New York to Milano is available. Um, Somebody in New York definitely quit, I think. Or maybe it was somebody in Milano. Let me scan around to see if any other major. Yeah, Hamburg's gone. I think somebody in New York quit the game. Yeah. Yeah, Casablanca's not taken. Yeah, somebody in New York, I think, definitely just quit the game. Because there are a bunch of excellent monopolies routes available. So I'm going to be putting 747s onto these routes whenever they arrive, basically. Is Manchester available? Oh, I think it is. Manchester is available by passenger even. Um, Sweet. Well, let me see if these cities are open to anything in Asia. Of course they are. Holy crap. Not even to Beijing. That's amazing. That is really amazing, I guess. So, I guess it's time to order new long-range aircraft next turn. Uh, I'm gonna need a whole bunch. I'm sure I have some more leases available, so I can just lease some more 747s to fly on these routes. But yeah, that's really sweet. That's really sweet. Let's see if I can find any other routes which I missed scanning quite quickly. Um, yeah, Milano's available. Hamburg was available, so I need some slots over there. Of course, I need to restart the game to get my slots in freaking, I think it's Liverpool or Manchester to go through. So I'm going to need to do that eventually. Tripoli. Yeah, I still have most of them, of course. So it doesn't look too spectacular. I can do this as, that can be one of my routes. Of course, we have to fly to Seoul's second airport. I can use that as my DC-862 route. I don't care much about DC-862s. I mean, like, they fill up so easily when you put them on a stopover route. Like, you gotta consider, right? Like, Tel Aviv is a terrible city. Like, it's got small business and small tour. But New York is one of the biggest in the world. And from what I can tell, the sum of the business and tour is almost important as the magnitude as of in both cities. So basically, a route from New York, which has about 560 total or 1,060 total business and tour, to a city with, say, 250 combined business and tour. I can't find one right now. I think Otis said, yeah, that's about 250 total business and tour. Will still add up to a total of well over 1,000 combined business and tour, which will quite easily fill up an aircraft. Um, a city between two medium-sized cities won't even get close to that. For example, Toronto to Luxembourg might seem like between two larger cities, or not Luxembourg. Let's pick an even bigger city than Luxembourg. Let's go with Madrid. I can't believe that's not taken, by the way. Toronto to Madrid has a total combined business and tour of 1,400. That's only as high as a route between New York and Belgrade, for example. Of course, the because both cities are larger, I do think the algorithm will generate more passengers between Toronto and Madrid, but not by so many that the route from New York to whatever Belgrade I just named is not viable, which I don't think many people realize. Which is why I think one of the best strategies in the game is simply just spamming these smaller cities. Um, this slot request is glitched. I don't know who. What? Eh? Well, that's a crash. Um, well, I guess at least my slot request will be fixed now, so that's an upside. That's an upside for sure. So yeah, this game has crashed on me like 5 or 6 times already. In about probably played the game for about 24 hours worth of time over the past few days, like 5 days. Basically, I've just been spending most of my free time on this game because it's pretty freaking addicting, um, for me at least. But yeah, uh, maybe they need to work on those stability issues a bit. Not a big deal, of course, for me. I don't mind if it crashes. Like the game's not intense or like you're not gonna lose a game because it crashed at one point. Um, so yeah, just gonna continue to make my cargo routes. Cargo routes are nice because they are really, really, really simple to make. You select one city, you select the other city, you open a cargo thing, and all of a sudden you got a cargo route. Oh, is that too far? No, Toulouse is too far. Too bad. Toulouse is a pretty nice city, so I'm a little bit sad that I cannot make a route to Toulouse, but that's fine. I still got two of these planes left, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to find homes for them. I could do Anchorage actually. New York to Anchorage. Anchorage has good business and good tour, or not good tour, good business. So, um, I'll do Anchorage. Uh, what else? What else can I do? I'm sure I'm missing something. Ooh, that looks cool. I've almost never made a route that goes in that direction. Leeds, Birmingham, Bristol, Southampton, they're all pretty bad. Brussels, pretty bad. Luxembourg is just too far. Uh, Lyon, too far. Bordeaux, in range, but garbage. So it's got to be Porto or Lisbon then. I guess Porto, because it's a little bit better. Um, maybe I could find a better like city even closer than that. But I really want to be utilizing the range because I bought these slightly more expensive aircraft for longer range, of course. Ooh, that works. Oslo. You gotta remember that things farther north are closer than they appear because the Earth's the Earth's I don't know how to call it, like circumference is not circumference. If you draw a circle around the Earth, like near the North Pole, like for example, like like from like around like this, that's not gonna be nearly as big as around the middle. I mean that's pretty clear to everyone. So basically, the farther north or south you get, the closer routes are like apparently there basically. So right, we got more 747s. So, I'm gonna open those 747s on some new routes. Of course, which we found because somebody left. I'm pretty sure. It's always good to check leaving companies or like bankrupt companies or people in the what's it called? In that list of companies which are like leaving soon or whatever. Because you can find some real awesome routes. Basically, I'm gonna leave Beijing to Milano because I hope that when my hub opens, I'll be able to snatch that up. Ooh, Singapore. Singapore is an excellent city. I seriously need to find a way to make a route to Singapore, um, just so that when the time comes and when I might want to make a hub in Singapore because that city is so large. I'll really quite easily be able to make many, many, many routes to Singapore. I'm going to take a look right now to see how many routes I can immediately find which are available. If I can count more than like 20 of them in like a minute, then I'm going to start investing. I'm going to make a route to Singapore and start investing there. Um, Singapore? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Are these in range? 9, 10. Okay, there's just countless. As well, once the 767 comes out, it's countless. So I don't have to prioritize it now because I can do that later. I can start doing most of my like most of my priority in like for Singapore like 5 days from now. That's when I should probably start investing for Singapore because most of the routes are too long range to be done with current aircraft. I'm gonna have to wait for longer range aircraft anyway, so I don't have to worry about getting a hub open there too early. There's not much point. So next route I was gonna make was of course Hamburg. I see Tokyo's available. I see that's about it. So Tokyo, Tokyo it is. Kuala Lumpur is not as good as an Air Tycoon Online 2. I don't believe. Um, I feel like they made the bigger cities better in Air Tycoon Online 3, or I just have a world with higher business and tour. I have no idea. But so far in this world, particularly New York, London, um, Chicago, Singapore, are there any really large cities? I guess LA, but LA is always really big. In every single world I play, LA is the biggest city. I don't know why. Um, yeah, as we almost 1,200 on its own, which is why I started investing so heavily in LA because routes like this for LA are somehow available, and they would be so profitable if I were able to make them. So I did start investing quite heavily in LA. I want to make it my like third or fourth hub, maybe fifth. Um, of course, I have London as one of my priorities for a hub now because even if London is not nearly as good as LA in this world, its location is so excellent. I mean, almost every little city in all of North America and even South America can be connected to London. Wow. Phoenix is terrible in this world. That's what I've just noticed. Okay. Yeah. Like, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? I've never seen that before. Holy crap. I've never seen that little competition before. I have never seen it. Like, since my first World and Air Tycoon Online 1, I have never seen that little competition. Like, to great cities like Hiroshima, Osaka, Nagoya. Like, these are all fantastic cities, and nobody has touched them. I need a hub in Europe right now. Hold up. Um, like as you know, right now I have no freaking need for more cash. Um, where the fuck? Where the fuck's an advertising investment expense? I need to change priorities. I need to change priorities because that is insane. Let's see. Um, yeah. So Beijing first because that's gonna be my second hub. It's undeniable now. So London. Jeez, that's too expensive. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. But I'm gonna increase my priority on Paris. 4K to 10K, I won't really feel it. To 16K, I will feel it. So there we go. It's another 10K into advertising investment expenses because that is unbelievable, quite frankly. Why do I have such high name value in Dusseldorf? Like, these are cities which I've not invested in, and the name value is pretty high. So that's interesting, I guess. That is insane. I'm spending so much money on investment now. What am I at? 124K will be spent on investment. Imagine if I wasn't investing and I was just sitting on New York as my singular hub. I would be profiting like what 200 and let's add this investment expense 200 and like 260K a turn. Damn, that is insane. Um, Unfortunately, I want new hubs. So, unfortunately and fortunately, like I know my profit is gonna go through the roof anyway. Like no matter what I do now, so it's just a matter of time, basically. So, knowing that, I'm just gonna invest as much as I like. Uh, but damn, like I think the next world I make, I'm definitely gonna start in Europe. It just leaves more options available. Why can't I make that a route? Oh, right, because I use my 747s to open new routes instead of replace other old aircraft. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I want a hub in Europe now, and I'll see you guys next time.